Hey everyone, so today we're going to continue our monocolor series videos, and today we're going to talk about two groups, the first one being Valkyrie and the second one being 2wink. And it's a double feature because there's only two members for each unit, and it's just better for me to just combine them together and just progress with the other videos faster. And I'll probably be doing the same thing for Double Face and Madara since they're pretty much almost the same anyways. But we are going to go in the order of hierarchy. So Valkyrie is going to be first and then 2wink is second. And then as usual, the color order of the video will be red, blue, yellow, then green. Okay, but with that, let's just go ahead and start. So for Valkyrie's red team, Shu's red card is going to be his SS Arc 4th stage Shinsekai tour card, and that tour event has not happened yet and will happen pretty soon in these states. And the main set of this card is Performance. And then Mika has two red cards we're going to talk about. The first one is going to be for his tour event, Antique Show, and that tour event has already happened and the cards will be eventually added to the Memorial Coin Shop. And the main set of this card is Vocal. And then Mika's second red card will be his Feature Scout 2 card, and that scout has not happened yet on our server and will happen during these dates. And the main set of this card is Performance. Okay, and then overview of the red team. There is a main stat red team you can make, which is going to be SS Arc 4th stage Shu and FS2 Mika. And it's pretty nice because Shu's card is practically free if you go for him. So you can get one of the two cards for free. Okay, but that is it for the red team. Next, let's talk about the blue team. For Shu's blue cards, we're going to talk about two of them. The first one is going to be his initial card, which has been in the game since the beginning and is already in the general pool. And the main set of this card is Performance. And the second card we're going to talk about is his Shuffle Gacha card for Heart 8 Cafe. And that gacha hasn't happened yet and will happen during these dates. And the main set of this card is Vocal. And then for Mika's blue card is his Detective Gacha Scout, and that scout hasn't happened yet and will happen during these dates. And the main stat of this card is Dance. Okay, then for an overview of the blue team, very interesting because there is a main stat for each single stat, but there is no overlapping one, so there is no monocolor team for the blue Valkyrie team so far. But they're probably gonna get another blue card soon, and that will most likely create a monocolor team, but that's going to be sometime in the future. And then the other thing about the blue team is that all of the cards are gacha, so even if there was a monocolor team, it seemed like there was going to be a lot more gacha based versus event based. Okay, and that's it for the blue team. Next, let's talk about the yellow team. For Shu's yellow card, his yellow card is his Feature Scout card, and that scout has already happened and is already in the general pool, and the main set of this card is Dance. And then for Mika, there are two yellow cards we're going to talk about. The first one is his limited link click card, and like I said, this card is limited and unfortunately is one of the limits that will never be coming back, and the main set of this card is Performance. And then Mika's second card is going to be for his solo event, Akante. That event hasn't happened yet in our server and will happen during these dates, and the main set of this card is Dance. Okay, and then overview of the yellow team. There is a main stat team, which will be a yellow Dance with Shu's Feature Scout card and Mika's solo event Akante card. Thankfully, it wasn't the limited Mika that was part of the yellow Dance team. Okay, but that's it for yellow team. Next, let's talk about the green team. So for Valkyrie green team, for Shu's green cards, we're going to talk about two of them. The first one is going to be Shu's solo event card for Neverland, and this event has already happened, and the cards will eventually be added to the Memorial Coin Shop. And the main set of this card is Vocal. And then Shu's second green card will be his Estrella Gacha Scout card, and the scout hasn't happened yet in our server and will happen during these dates. And the main set of this card is Dance. And then for Mika's green cards, Mika has two cards we're going to talk about as well. The first one is going to be his Feature Scout card, which was the first scout in the actual game, and those cards are already in the general pool. And the main set of this card is Performance. And then Mika's second card is going to be his second solo event card, which is Machina, and the event hasn't happened in our server yet and will happen during these dates. And the main set of this card is Vocal. Okay, and that's it for the Valkyrie green team. So the green team, it does have a monocolor team with a green Vocal main stat team with Neverland Shu and Machina Mika, and both are super nice because both are from events, so you can pretty much get them for free or be guaranteed you don't have to base it off luck. Okay, but that is it for the Valkyrie part of the video. So a brief overview. Valkyrie has pretty decent team comps for all colors except blue. The red team having SS Arc Shu, and Feature Scout 2 Mika with a red performance team, the yellow team having Feature Scout Shu and Akante Mika having a yellow dance team. And then lastly, for the green team, you have Neverland Shu and Makina Mika for a vocal green team. Unfortunately for the blue team, there is no cards with the same main stat, but it's also a good thing because all the blue cards are gacha cards, so it's going to be hard to get all of them compared to the red, yellow, and green teams, which have at least one event card each. Okay, but that is it for the Valkyrie part. Next, let's talk about the 2wink monocolor team comps. So for 2wink red team, for Hinata we're going to talk about 2 cards. The first one is going to be his initial card, which was added to the game since the beginning, and it's already in the general pool. And the main stat of this card is Dance. And then for his second card, it's going to be for his second solo event, which is Storm Hinata. And that event hasn't happened yet and will happen during these dates. And the main stat of this card is Vocal. And then for Yuta's red card, his red card is for his Valentine's Love Letter event. And that event hasn't happened yet in our server and will happen during these dates. And the main stat of this card is Performance. Okay, and a brief overview of the red team. Unfortunately, there is no same main stat for any of the cards with both members, so you can't really make a mono team with them yet for the red team. But I think Yuta is pretty much due for a card again, so maybe it'll be red and maybe it'll be a main stat that matches with Hinata. But that's it for the red team. Let's talk about the blue team. So for the blue 2wink team, Hinata's blue card is his SS Arc 5th Stage Sandstorm Tour event, and that event hasn't happened yet and will happen during these dates. And the main stat of this card is Vocal. And then for Yuta's blue cards, we're going to talk about 2 of them. The first one is going to be his tour event, which was Nightclub, and that tour event has already happened in our server and is already in the Memorial Coin shop. And the main stat of this card is Performance. And Yuta's second card is going to be his tag team card, and this card is a pretty much welfare / free card that's similar to Hido's Senpai Kohai card that we get for the cooperative event during the 1st year anniversary, and we'll get this card available starting the 2nd year anniversary. And the main stat of this card is Dance. Okay, and a brief overview of the blue team, and unfortunately it's like the red team, there is no same main stat for both members. But the good thing about the blue 2wink team is that all of them are pretty much free because 2 of them are tour events and 1 is pretty much a free 5 copies if you put in the work for it. So even if you have even one copy, you are pretty much able to get that copy for free. So it's a pretty good team in general. So that's it for the blue team. Next, let's talk about the yellow team. So for the yellow 2wink team, Hinata's yellow cards, we're going to have 2 to talk about. First one is going to be his solo event card for Fighting Dreamer, and that event has already happened, and those cards will be added to the Memorial Coin shop in the near future. And the main set of this card is Vocal. And then Hinata's second yellow card is his Puffy Bunny Gacha Scout card, and that scout hasn't happened yet in our server and will happen during these dates. And the main set of this card is Performance. And then for Yuta's yellow card, his yellow card is going to be for his Feature Scout card, and that scout has already happened and the cards are already in the general pool. And the main set of this card is Vocal. Okay, so for the yellow team, we finally have our first team comp, which is going to be the yellow vocal team of Fighting Dreamer Hinata and Feature Scout Yuta. And what makes this a really good team in general is that this is actually accessible to our server right now, and one of the earliest teams to have the same main stat and a full team comp. So if you have both the Feature Scout and Fighting Dreamer Hinata, then you already have a pretty solid team. Okay, but that's it for yellow team. Next, let's talk about the green team. So for the 2wink green team, Hinata's green cards, we have 2 to talk about. The first one is going to be his Halloween box Gacha Scout, and that scout has already happened and the cards are already in the general pool. And the main set of this card is Performance. And then for Hinata's second card, his second card is his Feature Scout card, and that scout hasn't happened yet in our server and will happen during these dates. And the main stat of this card is Dance. And then for Yuta's green cards, Yuta also has 2 cards we are going to talk about. The first one is going to be his October card, and that scout hasn't happened yet, but will be happening on these dates. And the main set of this card is Dance. And then Yuta's second card will be his Mirage Gacha Scout card, and that scout hasn't happened yet on our server and will happen around these dates. And the main set of this card is Vocal. Okay, and then an overview of the green team. Same thing as yellow team, we do have another same main stat team comp, and that's going to be the green dance team of Feature Scout Hinata and October Yuta. But unfortunately, not only just those 2 cards, but all the green cards in total are all Gacha Scout cards and will be hard to get. Okay, but that is it for all of the 2wink team comp. There are two cards that have monocolor main stats, and that's going to be the yellow team with the yellow vocal team of Flying Dreamer Hinata and Feature Scout Yuta, and then the green team having a green dance team with Feature Scout Hinata and October Yuta. And the red team pretty much just has a bunch of cards that don't have the same main stat. The blue team does as well, but the thing about the blue team is that all three blue cards are pretty much free to get if you put in the work to it, because they're either a tour event card or they're going to be a welfare card. Okay, but that is it for the video. There was just a lot to talk about since there's 2 units this time. Even though there's the same amount of members, there's still more to talk about because there's just more information. But as you can see, since these teams only have 2 members each, they're able to have team comps that have a full team with the same main stat, like Neverland Shu and Makina Mika and FS Hinata and October Yuta. To my surprise though, Valkyrie did have more monocolor teams, but we might see a difference in that in the future. But that is it for this video. Next, after this one, we're going to be talking about the last unit for Coast Pro, which is going to be Crazy Bee. And then after that, we're going to move on into Rhythm Link. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the video and hopefully it helped. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put it down below. And yeah, so hope you have a good night or day wherever you are, and I'll see y'all next time. So peace.